Emma Stone leads a brand new live-action adaptation of an animated classic with a twist. Is this the one you're taking home or not? I'll let you know right now. Hey Outlaw Nation, welcome to another review here on the channel. I am the Outlaw John Rocha, very excited to be talking about this new movie, Cruella. Cruella here, starring Emma Stone as the titular Cruella de Vil. Many people know her from the 101 Dalmatians, a classic animated Disney villain. We did see a live-action adaptation of 101 Dalmatians with Glenn Close as Cruella de Vil, but this is a kind of a prequel story, how Cruella came to life. You know, we'd seen Disney do this, or how she came to be Cruella de Vil. We've seen Disney do this in the past with Maleficent, and certainly they're exploring a lot of their animated classics, transferring them into live action, and then exploring some of these villains as we as a society have become a little more open to looking at the grayer areas of how someone might become a villain over a hero and what leads them to do that. As I said, Emma Stone leads this one, and I gotta tell you, she is absolutely stellar in this movie. I tweeted that it's a virtuoso performance, and by that I mean it's a performance where you do not expect how much you're going to enjoy Emma Stone, and she shows you some layers of her talent that maybe you haven't seen before. Even though she's an Oscar winner, you know, you always like to see how an actor is evolving, how they're changing, how growing up with an age kind of adjusts their acting or changes their acting, and you can really enjoy the levels and the nuance and the complexity they bring to these roles. And I thought she absolutely knocked it out of the park in this movie. This comes to us from director Craig Gillespie. He's been doing a lot of things over the last few years with his work as a director. For example, of course, he's got the Pam and Tommy film that's coming out really soon. A lot of people going crazy about those pictures of Sebastian Stan and Lily James as Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson. In the past, he did I, Tonya, which a lot of people enjoyed. And one of my favorite remakes, horror remakes of the last few years, Fright Night, with Colin Farrell. I thought that was a fantastic remake of that 80s classic horror film that starred, of course, the late, great Anton Yelchin in that remake. Basically, the journey is this. Cruella is a young girl who gets into trouble because she's headstrong. She speaks her mind. Her hair is half black, half white, so that stays there. But she does her own thing. And as she's getting older, she comes into conflict with the school, the headmasters at the school. So her mom kind of takes her out, got to move her to London. Meanwhile, she's like this young burgeoning fashion designer when she's home as a child, drawing on her pads, and she finds her way to London. Something tragic happens, and then it's about her figuring out who she is. It's a coming of age, also figuring out who you are type of story wrapped in. And as I said, Emma Stone absolutely kills it here. This film is so interesting. It's over 2 hours. It's like 2 hours and 15 minutes, I think. But that being said, the time you do spend in this world, this beautiful, fleshed out, interesting world is definitely something you want to spend your time doing. You know, Disney Plus is putting it out there, I think, for $30. That's up to you to decide if you want to spend the $30. I'm just telling you, I had a great time watching this movie. Emma Thompson is another phenomenal part of this movie, the Baroness. She is essentially the villain of the piece. Also want to give some love to Joel Fry, who I really enjoyed in the film Yesterday. But Joel Fry here is fantastic as Jasper, kind of the conscience of the piece. And Paul Walter Hauser as Horace is, of course, just perfect. Very funny, doing the Cockney accent. You know, he's been killing it lately with all his work, and he was fantastic in Richard Jewell. Can't tell people enough to watch that movie. He is excellent in Richard Jewell. He is just an up-and-coming actor that is absolutely establishing himself as one to watch as we go along. So already so much talent, and then you throw in Mark Strong, who's great as John the Valet. Let me throw in a little love for the costumes in this movie as well. My word, the costumes absolutely steal almost every scene they are showcased in. You know, this is about a fashion designer in Cruella de Vil, how she becomes this fashion designer, and you've got to show what kind of work you're doing, what kind of costumes you can create that makes you stand out. And certainly Jenny Beavan and Tom Davies, who were the costume designer and the eyewear designer for this film, absolutely kill it. They deserve all kinds of love for what they were able to create on the screen as well. I also think the cinematography from Nicholas Karakatsanis is absolutely stellar. What he's able to show you, what he's able to take, because the entire film is kind of in this little bit of a haze, kind of like what Tony Scott used to do back in the 80s. A little bit of that haze action, and a little bit of a darker haze. So you feel the dinginess of London, of the lower areas of London. Even when you go to these costume balls, you still see that kind of darkness, a little bit of dinginess on the edges of it overall. And he did some fantastic. He worked with Craig Gillespie and I, Tonya, as well as the director of photography. He did The Drop, that film with Tom Hardy and James Gandolfini and Noomi Rapace. So certainly a lot of experience here. There's a number of credits on his resume. Fantastic work he did cinematography wise. All right, so here are the things I will, as much as I enjoyed the film, it's certainly maybe one of the best live action adaptations Disney has ever done. It's a hell of a ride. It's a lot of fun. And if you enjoy great performances, if you enjoy seeing someone kind of step out of their limits and really embrace who they can be, it's a film for you, and you're certainly going to enjoy it. If I can ding it for one thing, it does feel a bit long, maybe 10-15 minutes too long, where you get some scenes that feel a little repetitive. Like, okay, we get it. You get it. You're trying to establish yourself. You get it. People are kind of like trying to stop you from embracing who you really are from the inside out. And yeah, you're this kind of badass, and maybe you rub some people the wrong way, but this is who you are and what you need to be in order to succeed. And here's the other thing that I will ding it for. Kirby Howell Baptiste plays Anita Darling. Now, when you first meet Anita Darling as a young child, she becomes friends with Cruella. But then as Cruella gets older and runs into the older version, which is played by Kirby Howell Baptiste, she becomes kind of sidelined. She's just there to take pictures, have the occasional scene. And I think I would have liked to have seen more with her. If you're going to introduce a character like this, you're going to need to have her be a little more integral to the movie. And I think a little more sensitivity on Disney's side as well. You're casting a black actress in this role. Give it something more than just a sideline character. We've seen that so many times in films. Why do that with Kirby Howell Baptiste? I don't understand. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more for Kirby Howell Baptiste to sink her teeth into as a role and as an actress for sure. So those are two things I kind of ding it for, but overall just absolutely an enjoyable, exciting, vibrant film that I think you all are going to love if you give it a chance. Again, I'm not going to tell you to spend the $30. That's your money. Do with it as you wish. But overall, I think this film is a lot of fun, and you will actually find a new a point of view, a new approach, a new look, a new perspective into the world of 101 Dalmatians, and definitely into the world of Cruella de Vil. All right, so I give it 4 out of 5 cowboy hats for myself. Personally, 4 out of 5 for that. I would have loved to have given it 5, but those two things that I talk about kind of dinged it a little bit. Now, the script work is great. I got to give a little love here to Dana Fox and Tony McNamara. Love a lot of the scenes, the way they're scripted. Love how we see the progression of Cruella as she goes along, buoyed by those interactions that are scripted by Dana Fox and Tony McNamara. So, all right, I think that's it for this review here of Cruella. Didn't give away too much, just enough hopefully to maybe wet your beak a little bit and get you excited to see this thing if you're going to go out to see it in the theater. And I would definitely recommend you go see this thing in the theater just for the cinematography and the vibrancy of the costumes alone. That is worth seeing it on the best screen and in the best audio that you can possibly see it, so you can enjoy it overall. All right. Thank you all so much for watching this review. Please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of the review, or let me know what you thought of the movie. Give it a like as well, and share it on your social media. As I try to do more and more of these reviews and trailer reactions, it really helps when you all support what I'm doing here by sharing it, by telling other people to watch the stuff that we're doing here on the Outlaw Nation, the little outlet that could. We are still pushing that boulder up that hill and trying to get to 17,000 subscribers as soon as possible. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe down below and hit that bell so you know when we're dropping new content, and we do it all the time here on the Outlaw Nation. All right, take care of yourselves. Be well. Get out there, darlings, and go see Cruella.